Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get this super easy, it's actually a really simple glam look. It was inspired by Thanksgiving and I wanted to do something really bronzy with like the fall leaves, but then also obviously wanted to include a dark lip. You could say inspired by the cranberry sauce, I don't really know. So if you want to see how to get this look, it's great for the holidays, then just keep on watching. Okay. I don't really have much of an idea of what I'm doing. I want to do something that'll be really good for Thanksgiving, really kind of holiday inspired. So here we go. We're just gonna go with it. And I realize that my face is a lot lighter than my chest area. It's because I put Senegence tanner on my arms and my chest, but I never put it on my face. My face exfoliates the quickest, and so I just don't feel like it's worth it. I just do a darker foundation shade too much. So I'm starting off with Silk. You guys, check this out. Like, how amazing. Our bottles are airless pumps, and so you literally get every single last drop. Like, I'll probably still get like 4 or 5 drops or 4 or 5 pumps out of this, and it looks like it's all the way gone. Okay, so I do a full pump, and you want to rub this in a downward motion. You don't want to pull your skin though. You want to do more like pressing motions. Like press it into your pores. Downward motion is key. And what it's gonna do, it's gonna fill in all your fine lines and wrinkles. But what's so great about it is it's non-comedogenic, which means that it's not going to clog your pores, which is so amazing. A lot of other primers out there that blur out your pores tend to clog them. So this stuff is not going to, it's just going to fill them in and give you flawless airbrushed. With Silk, you want to apply it and you want to let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. So I always apply it to my face and then I'll do my eyes and then I'll go back in and do the rest of my face. So I am going to start with my eyes today. I need a drink. And look how cute this tumbler is. I got it when I went to Cabo for Senegence. It's like blinged out, has rhinestones on it. So cute. I'm gonna go in with Sandstone Pearl first, like I always do, to prime my eyelids. And I'm gonna clean my brushes so bad. And this brush is just a Real Techniques Expert Concealer brush. You can also use your fingers for this. I feel like I should zoom you in. I'm gonna zoom you in 1 second. Whoa. Up close and personal. I want this to be like a coppery look with like a berry lip. That'll be really pretty. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so for my transition shade on my lid, I'm actually going to use Bronze Blush Scents. A Morphe E17 brush. Honestly, I would probably prefer Copper Rose Shadow Scents for this look, but since it's out of stock or it's discontinued, I'm going to give you other options. So, Bronze Blush Scents will do. Okay, I'm gonna put Mocha Java Shadow Scents all over my lid, but mostly I'm going to concentrate it on the inner and outer edges because I'm gonna do more of like a halo eye, and so I want that inner area to stay pretty light. I'm gonna blend it up into my crease too. Normally, I just take the product like directly off the wand like this, but I'm running low on it, so I don't have very much product. This is a clean brush, just a clean Sigma E38. Just gonna blend and buff that out. Garnet Shadow Sense. This is a Sigma E45. And we're putting this in the outer V area. So I like to apply it with one brush and then I blend it out with another brush. This is just the brush that I used for Bronze Blush Scents and Mocha Java. The reason I like to do that is because usually I get too much product on the original brush, and so it doesn't blend out very well. If you try to blend it out with the brush that the product's on, it starts to get kind of muddy. A little bit on the inner corners as well. I'm taking Whisper Pink Shadow Sense, just a really, really light pink color, on a flat shader brush, and putting that just on the center of my lids. I'm going to put a shimmer color over top of it, but I want this down first so that it really makes that shimmer color pop. And you can see I'm just patting, and what that does is it keeps the color very concentrated rather than diffusing it out, because I want my color to be concentrated. Next, I'm mixing two colors, Copper Rose Shimmer and Sandstone Pearl Shimmer. They look like this. Mixed together, they create the most gorgeous, like, rose gold color. Okay, so I'm taking equal parts Copper Rose Shimmer and Sandstone Pearl Shimmer, and I'm mixing them on my blending palette. Okay, and then with that flat shader brush, look how pretty that is. I'm gonna apply that right over where I applied the Whisper Pink. Okay, and next I'm mixing Copper Rose Shimmer and Garnet, and I'm putting that right there on the edge, the outer corners. And that makes just a really pretty warm coppery brown. Then I'm going in with a clean brush and blending those two edges together. I'm using that same brush and blending the inner corners. Doesn't have any extra product or any more product on it, just whatever's left over. Anytime I do a shimmer eye, I like to lay down a matte color first. It just makes the colors pop, as you can see. It just makes them pop and be a little more vibrant. Okay, so I threw on some lashes and some liner off camera because my camera died and I didn't realize until I was already done. And I went to zoom out to do the face and realized my camera was dead. The lashes I'm wearing are GIGI lashes. Well, okay, wait, scratch that. Let's see if I can find them. The lashes I'm wearing are Vixen lashes. They are my favorite brand, and these are the style GIGI. And I love them. They're like super fluffy. They're really big, bigger than I normally wear, but I think they're fun for the holidays. So now I'm gonna do my face. Oh, backtrack. Okay, So I said this already, but my camera wasn't recording. So a lot of people ask me why I do my eyes first and then do my makeup. And if you saw it previously, my eye makeup was like all down here. When I do my eye makeup, especially when I'm working on a more intense look, I focus more on blending up here, and I don't really care too much about what falls down here because I clean it up with some Foops remover and a Q-tip. So I did that already off camera, but that's why I do my eyes first, because it's a lot easier to clean up an eye look when you don't have anything on your face. Now we're gonna move into my face, which I'm gonna start off by putting Candlelight Shadow Scents on my dark circles. Those are pretty rough. And I'm just using the same concealer brush to blend those out. Next I'm going in with foundation, and I am the shade Dewy right now. Again, it doesn't really match my face, but it matches like my neck and my chest, and that is what's most important. So I'm doing one and like a quarter of a pump on my foundation brush. It's a Morphe E31. My favorite brush to use for foundation is actually this Real Technique stippling brush, but I don't have a clean one for foundation. All of my stippling brushes have blush on them because I like them for blush as well. And so I don't have a clean one for foundation, otherwise I'd be using that. Okay, and I'm not worrying too much about putting foundation right here underneath my eyes because I am gonna go with some concealer right there. So I'm just blending this everywhere else. One thing about our foundation is you're gonna get a fuller coverage if you kind of pat and stipple it like that versus just straight blending. So I do this on like the areas that I want more coverage, and then towards the edges of my face, I'll blend like this. So it kind of like diffuses out where I don't need it. That way I don't have any like harsh lines. It helps with that. Next I'm gonna do bronzer. For bronzer, I'm just gonna use a darker foundation shade. This is Cafe Au Lait. The way I like to apply this best is by taking a brush. This one's a Morphe M439 brush. And you can see there's a bunch of product on the edge of that. What I do is I take my brush, I just barely start to squeeze it and kind of like rub it back and forth. So it makes like a line on my brush. I apply it to my cheeks with that line going like this way. And that helps, because if you apply it just in a dot, the surface area of this brush is so big that it can start to look really muddy. So that's why I like to apply it in that line so that it's more concentrated, and then the edges of the brush kind of blend that out. Next up, I'm going to do concealer, and I like to mix these two. When I wear the shade Dewy, I can get away with just doing light underneath my eyes, but today I want a brighter under eye, so I'm going to mix it with white concealer. If you are foundation shades lighter than Dewy, so if you are ivory, porcelain, cream beige, beige chiffon, I think that's it. If you are those shades, then you'll definitely want to mix white concealer with light to lighten it up enough. But if you're dewy or darker, then this is definitely going to be light enough, and you could even go a darker shade. So I do about equal parts light concealer and white concealer, and I just mix that on the lid of my foundation. Okay, so about equal parts. I think I did a little bit more white concealer. It's messy from yesterday. So I'm going to mix it with the same concealer brush. and just apply it in like a V shape underneath my eyes. I don't apply it right up to my lash line. I just apply it in that V because when I blend it in, I'll blend it upwards. But if you apply too much product under there, that can cause creasing. And we don't want creasing underneath our eyes. So I apply it in that V, and then I'll put some in the center of my face. And down my nose, Cupid's bow, a little bit around my nose because I get a little red right there, and on my chin. For the bigger areas of my face, I'm gonna blend that out with this brush, foundation brush. And then I'm going to use my concealer brush that I just applied it all with. And it's clean, I wiped it off. No extra product on there. And I'm tapping it upwards near my lash line. I'm gonna use my foundation brush to blend out those edges. There we go, bright eyes. Then I'm gonna take this Morphe B18 brush. It is my favorite brush for underneath your eyes. And I'm gonna dip it back into that mixture of garnet that we did, garnet and mocha java. And it's starting to dry on my palette. I'll show you. It is starting, this is my palette and it's pretty, well, there it is. It's pretty dry. I'm just gonna work a little bit into my brush, get like the tiniest amount, and it's gonna be like a nice diffused look. And I'm running that underneath my lash line. I absolutely suggest doing shadow versus like a liner underneath your eyes. A harsh liner, like a liquid liner, that's gonna kind of close off your eyes, but when you diffuse out a shadow like this, you can see how much more open my eye looks. Okay, undersense. Okay, while that undersense is drying, I'm gonna put on my blush. So today I'm going to use Toasted Rose. And the way I like to apply blush is I just hold it and kind of start to squeeze it out. And I'll take my brush, this is a Real Techniques stippling brush. I start to squeeze it out like that. Focus. And then I'll just tap my brush into it and stipple it on my cheek. All right, undersense is dry, so I'm gonna comb through it with a lash comb. Oh, it's kind of dirty. Make sure there's no clumps or anything. And then I'm gonna put on a black lash sense. Comb through that. Okay, my brows are microbladed, but since I do have such an intense eye look on, I want to run some shadow through them just to kind of define them a little bit more and fill them in. So I'm gonna use Smoked Topaz Shadow Sense. It looks green, but it pulls really ashy, and my brows have a warm undertone to them. So this color is really good on my brows to balance out that warm undertone and make it more of an ashy color. If I do Mocha Java or Garnet on my brows literally look like red. I'm just using just a angled brush. This is a Morphe angled brush. And I'm just slightly running that through. Okay, I'm gonna set everything with our natural powder. And then for highlight today, I want more of a highlight than Pearlizer can give me. So I'm gonna use the Becca highlight in the shade Moonstone, using a little brush to pop that on my inner corners and underneath my brow. And then I'm using a Sigma tapered highlighting brush and putting that on my cheekbones. I just really like how much of a vanilla shade this is, whereas the pearlizer is more warm, like golden undertones, and I really like how, like I said, vanilla this shade is. Okay, for lip color, I'm going to use, I'm gonna go with Plum. I love Plum. I think it's a great fall color. It's great for the holidays. It's great for Thanksgiving. It's a really good color. This is literally the worst. And just a regular old glossy gloss. You wanna know something crazy? So I do the video, I did this video with my hair in a ponytail, and then I got off and I went live on Facebook to do my hair, and my power went out in the middle of my live video on Facebook. Obviously it's back on now, but you know what? Just roll with it. You can't control everything. So just roll with it. Like, I can't control this, and I really want to.